Imagine someone hands you like a box of wires, algorithmic code, and processing nodes, and they just say, build me the exact sound of a broken heart.
Yeah, good luck with that, right?
Right. You probably think they were completely out of their mind. I mean, it sounds impossible to wring genuine human grief out of a mathematical model.
It really does.
But today, we're going to look at a masterclass and how people are doing exactly that. So welcome to Hellcat's King of the Hill podcast.
Glad to be here.
We are opening up the episode 13 master source document today to conduct a deep dive into the top 3 winning tracks from the latest AI music community competition.
And I gotta say, the level of artistry we're dissecting today, it challenges a lot of assumptions about generative music.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we aren't just examining 3 standalone tracks that happen to sound good. You know, if you look at the source document, there is this highly coordinated thematic exploration happening.
Right. They're not just random songs.
Exactly. These creators are actively using the AI engine to map the complete devastating life cycle of a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
So the overarching theme guiding our deep dive today is, let me pull it up, the psychedelic anatomy of toxic romance, disappearing acts, severed ties, and Appalachian heartbreak.
Wow. I mean, that title sounds like a psychological thriller disguised as a thesis paper.
It really does.
And if you are listening to this right now, whether you're an AI creator who spends hours tweaking parameter weights or just someone who appreciates raw, unfiltered storytelling, you are about to see how technical prompt engineering translates into devastating emotional impact.
It's wild.
It is. We're basically going to conduct a sonic autopsy of a bad breakup.
A sonic autopsy. I like that.
Yeah, we're going to trace the philosophical and the technical contrasts from the chaotic, dizzying beginning of the end all the way down to the agonizing, lingering aftermath.
And to really feel that descent, we should probably walk through this in reverse order, right?
Exactly. Starting with third place and ending with the ultimate king of the hill. Yes.
Framing this as a sonic autopsy is, it's highly appropriate because when we start at the beginning of the toxic relationship cycle, we aren't looking at the romance.
Right.
We're examining the sudden manipulative exit. It's that rapid fire infatuation that just ends in total, seemingly unexplainable abandonment.
Which is exactly what our third place track captures. So this piece scored a 79.5 out of 100. It's called The Vanishing Act by the artist Trippy track.
A great track.
It is. The narrative transition here drops us right into that chaotic vanishing act. But I have to play devil's advocate on the production choices for a second here.
Okay, let's
So Trippy track used really specific style prompts, right? Like psychedelic blues and 1960s garage rock and spoken word blues.
Yeah, they did.
If you're trying to capture the devastation of being abandoned, doesn't injecting 1960s garage rock risk making the song sound, I don't know, too bouncy, like too fun?
Well, see, that dissonance is entirely the point. Yeah, it's a brilliant psychological choice by the artist. By feeding the AI those specific genre markers, Trippy Trek commanded the engine to produce this smoky vintage weight.
Okay.
And that acts as a cynical, razor-sharp wrapper for the narrative because garage rock inherently carries this messy, unpolished, frenetic energy.
Yeah, it's definitely not clean pot.
Exactly, it's raw. So by leveraging that specific sonic profile, the artist forces you, the listener, to experience the breakup from the perspective of the manipulator's chaotic energy.
Oh, wow. So you aren't just wallowing in the victim's sadness.
Right, you're in the storm with the villain.
And you hear that so clearly in the lyrics. Like, Trippy Trek paints this picture of, what was it, a heartbreaker supreme who actively plays the victim while being the villain.
Yes.
They write about how this person pulls a Houdini and leaves their partner drowning in the fantasy. Like, listen to the phrasing here. Sipping on the poison of a rapid-fire romance. See, then she evaporates, totally gone, leaves him in the dark while she moves right along.
Man, the psychological manipulation being described there, I mean, that's a very specific type of toxic dynamic.
Oh, for sure. The sudden revulsion.
Yeah, the lyrics note how the partner abruptly finds fault out of nowhere. Like, he breathes the wrong way or he speaks out of turn. Now he's the villain watching everything burn.
It's so abrupt.
It is. The music totally reflects that anxious, chaotic compulsion to just destroy the connection and run, leaving absolutely no trace.
You know, it makes me wonder, have you ever met someone whose affection is like a flashy fireworks display?
Oh boy, yeah.
Like you're standing there in the dark, the sky's lit up with these mesmerizing colors, and it's intoxicating, right?
Right, you're completely captivated.
But because you're so distracted by the bright lights, You don't realize the sparks are actually landing on the roof.
Ouch. Yeah.
The affection is a distraction mechanism. It's ultimately chaotic, highly prone to burning your entire house down, and then they completely vanish from the scene.
Leaving you just standing in the ashes wondering what just happened. That analogy illuminates the mechanism perfectly, honestly, because that 1960s garage rock production, it is the bright, distracting firework.
Yeah.
It's this dizzying ride. But what happens when the smoke clears? You know, when the noise stops and the person is gone?
You're just left to deal with the ashes.
Right.
So when that chaotic noise of the exit finally fades, what are you left with? Silence.
Yeah.
Just suffocating, isolating silence.
Yeah, the quiet after the storm.
And that is exactly the psychological space we were forced into with our second place track.
Yeah.
This one scored a massive 95.3 out of 100.
A huge jump in score.
Yeah, it's called Severing the Stitches, SOSiS, and it's by the artist Say So.
And, I mean, the shift in atmosphere from the third place track to this one is just staggering. Say So crafted something that feels physically heavy.
It really does. It weighs on you.
Totally. And when we look at their prompt engineering, it serves as a textbook example of how to manipulate an AI model's structural biases.
How so?
Well, they use prompts like edgy dark, psychedelic, alt-R&B, and a sluggish 74 BPM.
74 is so slow.
Super slow. Plus, fuzzed baritone guitar and cavernous reverb. But the most crucial instruction they gave the engine was just 2 words.
Which were?
No chorus.
Man, that is so deliberate. Like, think about pop music structure like a roller coaster, right?
Right, yeah.
The verse is the chain lift, pulling you slowly up the incline, ratcheting up the tension. And then the chorus is the drop.
A payoff.
Exactly. It's the release of all that built-up kinetic energy, giving you this exhilarating rush of pot accessibility or emotional relief.
Right.
But by explicitly prompting the engine with no chorus, say just traps the listener on the incline.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
You are perpetually ratcheting upward in anxiety, but the release never, ever comes.
And structurally, that denial requires forceful engineering. I mean, AI music models are trained on massive data sets of popular music.
Right. They want to make hits.
Exactly, which means their default algorithmic bias is to desperately want to resolve musical tension into a chorus. Say So had to actively fight the machine's pop instincts to maintain that perpetual state of anxiety.
Wow.
It forces the listener into this cold, cavernous space, trapped with a low, whispered vocal that the prompt specifically commanded to crack with emotion.
You can hear it, too.
You really can. You have the slow burn over a prominent analog bass line, but you are denied any catharsis.
Which, I mean, perfectly mirrors the reality of the aftermath.
Yeah.
There is no cathartic movie moment when you're sitting alone in a small room with your own heaviest thoughts, trying to block out a toxic person.
No, there isn't. It's just hard.
The lack of a chorus mimics the feeling of having absolutely no escape hatch from the pain. You're forced to sit in the reality of severing a tie, and you just have to feel every single cut.
And the lyrical themes really reinforce that feeling of agonizing, meticulous removal. SOSiS writes about blocking every whisper and sleepwalking through curses when the truth arrives.
It's so dark.
It is. Let's look at that central metaphor, though, severing the stitches. It's incredibly visceral.
Yeah, you aren't just unlocking a door and letting someone walk away.
No, you're actively tearing apart something that was medically deeply bound into your own skin just to hold you together.
Oh, man. And the execution of the ending of that track is just chilling. It's entirely cinematic.
The way it just drops off.
Yeah. The music drops away completely, the fuzzed baritone guitar fades, the bass stops, and you're left with just that cavernous reverb.
Right.
And it ends on a single, isolated, fragile, whispered word, leave. Just leave.
It is the auditory equivalent of total exhaustion. The fight is over, the illusion is broken, and all that remains is the cold reality of the severed tie.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately for the human psyche, is rarely the actual end of the story.
No, it almost never is. The physical ties might be severed, you might have whispered leave and locked the door, but the ghost remains in the room with you.
Always.
And that brings us to the lingering, haunting trauma bond. We are dedicating the largest portion of our deep dive today to this final piece because, honestly, it demands full attention.
It absolutely does. We are looking at the first place, the King of the Hill winner.
Yeah.
This is Sweet Giantess with their track Fall, 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 pulling an incredible score of 95.5 out of 100.
Just a phenomenal score.
Yeah.
And Sweet Giantess delivered what I can only describe as an exhaustive, definitive masterclass in how to bend an AI to human will.
Oh, without a doubt.
To achieve the exact emotional resonance they needed, they pushed the AI engine into max mode across multiple parameters, right? Like max quality, max realism, max real instruments.
Yeah, they wanted the engine running at absolute peak computational capacity.
Which makes sense for this level of detail.
But pushing the engine to its limits is one thing, you know. The data they fed into that maximized engine is what makes this truly breathtaking.
Right, the prompts themselves.
Exactly. Consider the string of style prompts they used. Psychedelic Appalachian Gothic, intimate front porch atmosphere, fireflies, porch light glow, fog in the holler, finger-picked banjo, and a precise tempo of 70-72 BPM.
I mean, the technical implication of that prompt is fascinating. They didn't just provide musical instructions.
No, not at all.
They provided a highly specific visual and atmospheric mood board, like fireflies, porch light glow. How does a mathematical audio model even interpret a visual concept like a porch light?
It's wild, right? But it really comes down to how these generative engines ingest and map their training data.
Okay, walk us through it.
So AI music models are trained on vast data sets of audio that are paired with highly descriptive text tags.
Uh-huh.
Over time, the model creates this latent space where it maps relationships between words and sounds. So when the engine reads porch light glow paired with banjo and fog in the holler, it isn't literally seeing a light.
Right, it's not a camera.
Exactly. It's retrieving the acoustic data of thousands of field recordings and acoustic tracks that shared similar environmental tags.
Well, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. It mathematically pulls in the slight muffling effect of humid night air and the specific impulse response, or, the delay of sound waves bouncing off wooden floorboards in an open space rather than bouncing off studio walls.
That is mind-blowing.
Sweet Giantess essentially commanded the AI to calculate the exact acoustic resonance of an open-air Appalachian twilight.
Wow. And, if you're listening to this right now and thinking, well, it's just a machine doing math, it can't possibly have any real soul, I really want you to look at the profound vulnerability happening here.
Strongly agree.
Look at what it takes for a human being to sit at a keyboard and type prompts like raw heartbreak, phantom memories, trauma bonding, and grief.
Yeah, the AI didn't invent those feelings.
Exactly. The AI didn't experience a trauma bond. The algorithm doesn't know the physical weight of missing someone who destroyed your sense of self. But Sweet Giantess knows that.
Right. The machine is merely the instrument, that humanity is entirely located in the creator's vulnerable storytelling.
It's like a master film director setting an intimately lit stage.
Oh, I love that comparison.
The director tells the lighting crew where to put the shadows. They instruct the set designer to make the wallpaper look peeling and weathered, and they tell the actors precisely where to stand to catch the light.
Yeah.
The director isn't holding the camera or building the set with a hammer, but the soul of the scene comes entirely from their vision.
Exactly.
Sweet Giantess is the master director here, guiding a massive computational tool to express an incredibly complex, jagged human reality.
And we really need to examine that reality closely because the lyrics of Fall, Fall, Fall perfectly articulate the agonizing complexity of a trauma bond.
They really do.
This piece completely bypasses the standard tropes of an angry breakup song. It dives into the deep, confusing grief of mourning the illusion of your partner.
Yeah, Sweet Giantess writes, "The ways you tore me down, disguised as lifting up, filling up my cup, just to help me drown."
Yeah, that verse is the clinical definition of a trauma bond translated into poetry.
It really is.
The person inflicting the injury is simultaneously positioning themselves as the only source of comfort. They create the wound, and then they offer the bandage, forging a deeply confusing psychological dependency where the victim associates their abuser with safety.
Right.
And Sweet Giantess captures this paradox flawlessly with the lines, "You knew every fracture, every fault line in my skin. You'd kiss me where it hurt, then press your fingers in."
Kiss me where it hurt, then press your fingers in. Just, wow. The imagery is devastating because it implies such an intimate knowledge of the person's vulnerabilities, just completely weaponized against them.
Yes, weaponized intimacy.
And then the realization hits in the second verse, which I honestly think serves as the emotional core of this entire deep dive.
Let's hear it.
You're right. "And I hate that I miss you. God, I hate that it's true. I don't miss the cruelty. I miss the dream you sold me to."
I miss the dream you sold me to. Articulating that specific nuance is often the hardest part of healing from a toxic romance.
It is, because it's so confusing.
You aren't actually mourning the abuser, you're mourning the phantom. You are grieving the person you desperately thought they were, and the future you thought you were building together.
Yeah.
As Sweet Giantess so poetically concludes, The partner was just a phantom in borrowed skin, and somehow I still miss it.
The contrast between the warm, inviting, acoustic Americana sound like the gentle vocal grit, the subtle fiddle swells, and the absolute internal ruin being described in those lyrics is masterful.
Masterful is the right word.
It is this beautiful, sweeping Appalachian folk ballad about someone who methodically dismantled your psyche.
It synthesizes our overarching theme perfectly, honestly. The psychedelic anatomy of toxic romance.
Yeah.
We traveled from the dizzying, fast-paced manipulation of the Vanishing act in track 3 into the cold, isolated, chorusless void of severing the stitches in track 2.
Right.
And finally arrived here in track 1, sitting on a weathered porch in Appalachia, dealing with the haunting ghost of a trauma bond that just refuses to leave your head.
It is a stunning, cohesive narrative arc. And I think it proves that this community of artists isn't just generating background noise. You know, they are using cutting-edge technology to tell deeply resonant stories.
Absolutely. And I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over long after this deep dive concludes.
Laid it on us.
Consider the fascinating irony of what we've just explored today. To capture the absolute most chaotic, messy, irrational, and painful human experience possible, toxic love and heartbreak, these artists had to utilize the most logical, structured, and algorithmic tool currently available to our species.
Wow, that is ironic.
Right. The AI did not invent the pain. It simply held up a highly technical, mathematically perfect mirror to our deepest human complexities.
A mathematically perfect mirror reflecting a broken heart. I love that. We started today talking about a sonic autopsy, looking for the jagged white line of a broken relationship, like an X-ray.
Yeah.
And what we found is that while the technology provides the X-ray machine, the messy, beautiful, beating heart underneath it all still belongs entirely to the human creator.
Beautifully said.
Thank you for listening to Hellcat's King of the Hill podcast. Make sure to check the description to hear the full tracks and join the server if you want to play in King of the Hill.